So character then has lots of qualities to it. And when Rich and I were talking a little earlier about, okay, Rich, you're up there now, describe what character is. It's very hard to describe. You can only sort of see it. And you hear the Bible reference, the tongue is a flame. The tongue is a flame, where you don't want to just sort of spit out negative things, so you want to be careful with your words. In other words, think things through. And that is, that's a character item. So that's why you want your family character to not be, saying bad things about one another. So when the kids are fighting, you don't want them to then throw out negative things. They can be frustrated and get upset with one another, but how they get upset is a family character. And then Liz was phenomenal in this regard. When the kids were young and they were, struggling like all kids do, Shelley and Kevin were so ridiculously competitive with one another. Shelley was a real athlete and Kevin was a younger version, and they were constantly in conflict. Shelley would come up to them and say, well, you guys keep going, but just keep in mind you're best friends. You're best friends. So whatever actions you are, you're going to express to one another, whatever those actions are, you're going to live with that with your best friend tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And throughout your life, you're going to have each other. Some friends are going to be friends for a while, and then they're going to be gone. And then, later, as we found out, the boys have had girlfriends and Shelley's had boyfriends, and they're gone. And so, but they have each other. And so best friends was a Marr family character trait. The whole thing, before I get into the tips and discussion questions, is really about family leadership. Family leadership, again, like character, is hard to describe. It's hard to really figure out, well, what is leadership? I'm leading, right? Right. It takes a while to figure it out, and it takes the intention to say, you know what, okay, I'm going to put a stake in the ground. I don't know where I'm going necessarily, but I'm going up. I am going to do a better job. And I can identify where I've come from, and to make sure I'm going to pull the good and leave the bad. I'm not going to condemn the bad or judge it, bless it, possibly, because it's a part of who I am, and I'm okay with that. But I'm going to lead this family, and maybe this is a talk for the guys, but either way, it's a talk for the couples to say, where are we going in life? How are we going to raise these kids? Since life accumulates, the only way that you can really take the kids somewhere is you got to go there yourself. And so the tips and discussions are really about, things that we've done in our life. And that's all. This is just a testimony. It's not no monopoly on wisdom here for sure. It's a description of how our family has gone from little kids to younger kids to teenagers to now our youngest is 17 and a junior in high school. And our family life is a 10. Each kid, you ask them how they're doing, they'll say 9.5 because 10 is, theoretically impossible. But they are thrilled with life, and they're adventure-minded. And so I just talk about these things here, designing a family culture. You want to be positive-minded. You want to be adventure-minded with foods, with activities, with outfits. Our son, Kevin, initially, this is so dumb. When he's 3 years old, he didn't want to wear certain outfits because they didn't match. No match, no match. Okay, Mr. Fashion Statement, never mind. But you want to be adventure-minded. You want to be open-minded. You want to be honest, respectful. Respectful, I don't know if there's anybody here with teenagers, but you are developing teenagers today. And you hear the challenges with having teenagers. There is no challenges with teenagers whatsoever. None. As long as you do the things now when kids are young, because however they are when they're young is how they're going to be when they're teenagers. And so if they're going to challenge you now and you don't get control of that relationship, they're going to challenge you in the future. And you're going to feel like, if I had only done it back then, I wouldn't be having these problems. And that would actually be a true statement. But so the thing is that you are building bit by bit your children's lives with your own leadership. So you want them to be respectful. Oh yeah, now I know where I wanted to go. So what's the totality of teenaged angst? You know, this frustration. We have 3 kids, and I don't know how many days that you can have 3 kids that are teenagers, but a lot of days. And how many days or hours have we had in total of teenage frustration where we were just at odds? And I would say 3 kids, an hour and a half, 2 hours total for their entire lives so far. And what was that? It was when Daniel at 17, I want to rebel. I mean, he said those words, it's like, all right, go for it. Because he really didn't know what he wanted. He just knew that his friends were rebelling. And I said, hey, could you go pick up your brother, you know, over here? And he said, no. And I said, why? He said, I want to rebel. Against what? I'm on your side. How can you rebel against me being on your side? And the whole point is that you want your kids to develop from where they are to be the biggest version that you can possibly imagine. And that's what I'm saying. Daniel, I want you, all these things that you want, I want for you. I want more because you don't even know what you want. I want more for you than you can possibly imagine. How can you rebel against that? There's no possibility that you would really be interested in rebelling. Well, I know, but God, my friends are rebelling against their parents, and you know that independence. I want that independence that they had. I go, are they really independent, or are they just sort of counter to their parents right now? So I want you to have independence, but it's not just rebelling. So that's kind of a respect thing. Kids are best friends, perseverance, we've talked about that. You know, as far as I know, tell me if I'm wrong, as far as I know, we have prayed every dinner meal. I have been blessed to be able to be at home for just about every meal in our relationship. But we have prayed pretty much the same prayer every meal, every dinner meal. And that is this sense of appreciation for life. I mean, seriously, I don't care where you are in life. If you're living in this environment, we are in the top 1% in the world. And so you have to have appreciation for the blessings that are you know, in this community. To be a part of this group is just a huge blessing. To have friends, to have your health, all that stuff is a massive blessing. To have problems is a huge blessing. To be sick occasionally is a massive blessing because of to be able to show that you're healthy most of the time. And so we started every meal with a prayer talking about the blessings. Oh my gosh, you have showered us, Lord, with blessings, and we are so appreciative. Fill our hearts and with that appreciation. Open our minds up to what you have in store for us to see. Bless this time to our lives as you bless this food to our bodies. That's pretty much it. 20 years. I'm kind of a narrow guy, so I stick to the same things. Family fitness, you know, we've just been blessed again with kind of seeing, Liz had broken her back. That took 6 years to sort of figure that one out. She's had other physical issues, and so we began to appreciate how vital health was. And so as a family culture, we wanted to be active and fit. You know, going to church, the holiday parties, the holidays together, tremendous family traditions, birthdays. You know, even at the end when the kids were teenagers, Liz would say, come on, Dave, let's go. Did the balloons, did the streamers, did the happy birthday sign. Every birthday, every child, every year became a family tradition. And then, you know, we all enjoy a good laugh, and so that really is a big part of our family culture. I don't know that it's a family character. It's maybe a trait more than anything. But so in any case, we enjoy life. And that's a big part of who the Mars are. So that's it from anything that I have to say. I'm going to be around afterwards if you want to focus in on anything I've said and want to ask. I have some topics of discussion here if you want to carry it forward. Thank you so much for your time.